As a trainer, I think that the LAS and UK are offering something fantastic for private sector landlords. It's very difficult for landlords to get hold of a lot of the information that they need in order to run their businesses in a good way, in an efficient way, and to make sure their properties are safe and healthy for the people that live in them. And training that the LAS offers and the information that it offers afterwards gives the landlords everything that they need to be able to go into their properties and make sure they manage them in the best way.
I heard about the course through my colleague who said, you should do this course. It'll be really helpful for you. Because becoming lettings manager, I need to know these sort of things going forward. So
I decided to attend today's training to update my knowledge on the property laws and regulations to do with tenancies and landlords' priorities.
I decided to attend today's training because the last time I attended a course was 5 years ago, and I felt the need to refresh my knowledge.
The content of the day is huge. It's absolutely massive. It refers to every single issue going on in the private rented sector. So it's split into two parts. The first part will deal with all the landlord-tenant issues, all the legal nitty-gritty that landlords need to understand. The day-to-day running of the property in terms of any contracts that they enter, how they need to terminate any contracts, making sure that they stay on the right side of the law in their relationships with their tenants. And the second part of the day is organised in terms of the landlord's responsibilities in terms of repairs and making sure that they understand whether they're running an HMO or not, and if they are, what the special obligations they have in terms of making sure they comply with the particular legislation.
The content of the course was excellent. Particular attention was given to HMOs, which is a very specialised area, and I'll be thinking about getting more knowledge on that.
I did expect it to be informative, but a bit more boring, but it was the opposite. It was very interesting, we interacted with everyone, so it was really good.
So I think the content and material covered given was very up to date and relevant to what is needed today.
The feedback has generally been very, very good. It's a long day and it's a lot of information, but landlords tend to leave feeling very, very exhilarated by it. They've been given a lot of information and being given a lot of pathways to find out even more information or need the support that they need for the future.
The trainer, Sally, was very good. She was very informative, very helpful. We bombarded her with questions throughout her whole session, and she was great. There's a lot of things that I learnt today that we haven't set in place in our company. So, what we've learnt today, we've got a meeting tomorrow, so they're going to come up. So it's very, very interesting.
It's important to be updated on everything, especially as an agent, because we are acting for landlords. So we need to be giving them the best, most up-to-date advice, and if we're not telling them to do something that ultimately they have to do, that's a problem for them and therefore a problem for us. So to do these courses, to learn things, is essential for us as an agent. I mean, I would have thought for a landlord it's just as important, but for us to be able to give our landlords proper information, proper feedback, proper advice, we have to keep up to date with everything.
The continuous professional development, the CPD points, are an added incentive for landlords to keep up to date with their knowledge in the housing field.
This is all about learning more so we help our landlords do a better job.
Being new to this industry, I think having all this information to hand is very important because there's new legislations and laws coming into place all the time.
It's helped with a lot of information I didn't know and that I would have needed to have found out.
I think it's very difficult for landlords to keep up with current legislation. It comes in very, very swiftly. You can attend landlord forums, but they may only deal with the legislation that's happening in your local area. And there are all other formats that you can go on to. You can find information out online through your local solicitor. However, the LAS will give you that information in a nutshell, either through its training courses or through the information sheets and the fact sheets that it has online.
I'd certainly recommend the course to colleagues and landlords. I found it very useful, and I think most people would take a lot from it.
Definitely recommend a colleague or fellow landlord to attend these courses. They're very interesting courses that give a lot of knowledge about the whole private sector.
I would absolutely recommend to my colleagues and fellow landlords to come on this scheme, as I've learned a lot.
The great thing about the information that the landlords learn on the development course is that they're able to take that information and use it. It's practical. They can take it home, they can research further areas, and they can improve their businesses.
I actually said to my colleague just outside, I actually feel a lot more confident now to, if someone has a question for me, I'd be able to just, answer it without any hesitation or, non-understanding.
I would encourage any landlord to come along to the seminar. Agents, landlords of one property or landlords of a portfolio.